Humanity is fascinating. Through the eons we have built and created, burnt and destroyed, fabricated and buried 1,000 concepts, cities and stories. Our history is rich and endless. That is why the art of archaeology is one of the most significant sciences, as it allows us insight into the lives of our ancient predecessors and how they lived, thought and loved. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 captivating archaeological discoveries. The ancient underground city discovered beneath a house in Anatolia. When you purchase a home, you rarely consider the potential of there being an underground city beneath the floorboards, and yet this is exactly what happened to a homeowner in Anatolia. Mustafa Bozdemir, a man in his 50s, inherited a house half a decade ago and made the choice to restore the estate, only for a subterranean city to be found beneath his house, of which 4,000 square miles have been thoroughly excavated, with more still to be seen. Anatolia is a region of Turkey. The country is known for its abundance with underground cities, such as these. Cappadocia, one of its districts, has over 40 cities built beneath the Earth's surface, and over 200 villages have been discovered underground with actual temples, secret passages, and hidden rooms, and were able to host the lives of entire communities. Erciyes University has been helping the excavation efforts. Bozdemir has confirmed that the team working on the house have indeed found human remains on the site, which have been sent to be analysed. The project director of Guntas, a Turkish restoration agency, has spoken about the fascinating find, saying, "We thought that there might be storage space for food or a stable beneath the house, but had no idea that it was part of an underground city. The underground city that we found by accident during restoration begins a few meters under the ground and has 2 levels. There are parts resembling underground remains of settlements in Cappadocia. Wonderful structures emerged everywhere like an iron workshop and a loft." The mayor of the area, Mehmet Osman Bazoglu, stated, "We think that the underground city was active in the Roman, Byzantine and Seljuk eras, and other stone buildings there were built in the Ottoman and Republican periods." Mayor Osman Bazoglu has announced his desire to continue the excavations until they manage to uncover the entire city, and believes that this city is linked with the nearby towns of Gezi, Zinsadeh, and Turan. Clearly, the builders of the structure were vastly skilled in their craft, though modern scholars tend to wonder why the ancient peoples living in the area built these underground cities so intently. One idea is that of cultural beliefs or something more sinister, such as the risk of natural disasters, with researchers saying that these ancient cities are bunkers for catastrophes. Derinkuyu is the most prominent underground city with over 600 entrances, 11 levels, and could have easily allowed a population of several thousand to reside in its underground walls, hidden from the surface. Derinkuyu, Melik Gazi, and all other underground towns have stables, living quarters, livestock quarters, wells, tanks where water was once stored, cooking pits, and even ventilation shafts to cleanse the air and provide necessary oxygen to the chambers. Tombs and bathrooms have also been found in a huge amount of these places. Melik Gazi is far from being as extravagant as Derinkuyu, but its discovery nevertheless is a profound one that leads us closer to finding out the secrets of ancient Anatolia. Archaeologists discover medieval woman and child skeletons at the Tower of London. The Tower of London is infamous for being the gruesome resting places of countless miserable souls throughout English history. The Chapel of St. Peter ad Vicula lies inside the tower's walls, and is the tragic burial place for Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, and other infamously tragic prisoners. The caretakers of the site requested to make the chapel more accessible, but before that was done, the area had to be excavated to ensure no historical relics or artifacts would be destroyed. Alfred Hawkins, a member of the Historic Royal Palaces blog, stated that archaeologists found 2 fully complete skeletal remains of medieval humans. Analysis of the bones revealed it to be the skeleton of a grown woman and child. It is believed that they were lower-class commoners or even destitute peasants that were most likely the tower's caretakers of sorts during the Middle Ages and probably lived within its walls. The bones were dated back between 1450 and 1550, a period in English history with the War of the Roses, the unforgettable reign of Henry VIII, and the cruel, unforgiving reign of his daughter Mary I, otherwise known as Bloody Mary. For the Protestants, she burnt at the stake. The skeletons were found in typical Christian burial fashion, with their feet pointing east and placed on their backs. Nails were found around the skeleton of the grown woman, which implies she was buried in a wooden coffin that rotted away with time. The child, on the unfortunate end, seems to have been merely wrapped in blankets and placed into the earth. No burial trinkets were uncovered near them, and after being checked over by an osteoarchaeologist, they found that the woman was between the age of 35 to 45, whereas the child was no older than 7 years old. Fortunately, neither child nor woman seemed to suffer from any grievous harm. Their deaths were not violent, and thus they were not executed prisoners of the dreaded tower, but instead seemed to have passed away from an illness. The woman most likely had severe lower back pain. Hawkins further said, "Their growth shows not a comfortable life, but one which is typical of the period in which they lived." The finding is exciting because these are the very first skeletal remains found at the tower since the 1970s. The reason why this discovery is so mind-blowing is that whilst historians always assumed there might be complete burials on site, records from the period claimed that burials occurred elsewhere. As far as everyone was concerned, before this finding, no actual burials occurred at the tower apart from those taken to be buried in the chapel. The Tower of London has always been a drastically dramatic location, abundant with stories of woeful lovers such as Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, executed advisors such as Thomas More, who was King Henry VIII's Lord Chamberlain until the king had him killed, and significant figures such as Queen Elizabeth I before she was crowned. Sir Walter Raleigh and the mythical princes of the Tower were imprisoned there for respective amounts of time, though in the case of the princes, the popular leading theory is that Richard III had the boy's life ended after he took the throne. 2 sets of bones were uncovered under the tower's stairs, however they have never been proven to belong to the young princes. The tower has existed for almost an entire millennium, and in that time has obtained an amazing amount of history. Hawkins explains the intimacy of the discovery. Often, an archaeological excavation and the information you gain from it feels fairly impersonal, uncovering a Norman ditch here, a Tudor tile there. All of these physical remains enable us to create an image of the past, but the individual history of the people who lived in these periods can sometimes be elusive. This is why the archaeological excavation of human remains is so important. It allows us to examine the way in which people lived and died in our palaces. Mayan Kingdom unearthed on cattle ranch. La Canja Zeltol, a site in the Chiapas in Mexico, has been excavated by professionals from Brown and Brandeis universities. La Canja Zeltol was settled in 750 BCE and was the capital of the long-lost kingdom of Sac-Zi, with settlers residing there for roughly 1,000 years. In 2014, archaeology graduate Whitaker Schroeder was in Chiapas searching for sites to uncover for his dissertation, when a local told him about an ancient tablet his friend found and took Schroeder and his friend, Dobrainer, to a cattle ranch. Schroeder informed an associate professor at Brandeis University of the discovery, which led to a wide excavation after permission was obtained to search the site, the cattle rancher's very backyard. Sac-Zi's capital has the remnants of a 45-foot-tall pyramid and ruins of religious structures, including a ceremonial center. Even an ancient ball court was found. It took several years for the Mexican government to give permission to the universities to excavate, but it was certainly worth the wait, and excavations began in June 2018. The team used available technology to their advantage, using LiDAR, light detection and ranging surveys of the whole area, which utilizes a laser that reveals whether something is hidden beneath the earth. Ever since June 2018, The team has managed to find diverse, astounding artifacts and antiques, including a tool used by Mayan salt miners over 1,000 years ago, an ancient mask that portrayed one of the Maya kings of Mexico that dated back to the 7th century, and grand Maya structures left over from the fallen civilization, revealing their civilization to be larger than initially believed. From what is known, the Maya civilization peaked during the 6th century AD. And yet, for an unknown reason, many Maya cities were entirely abandoned sometime during the 900s AD. History is a captivating subject that reveals never-ending truths about the lives led by our ancestors. Every year we uncover more and more breathtaking secrets that make us rethink our views and beliefs of their daily lives. But what do you make of these 3 fascinating discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.